Jeffrey Epstein's criminal network spanned decades and continents. Since his death, the public has demanded a full accounting of every associate who helped him operate it. The passage of the Epstein Files Transparency Act was supposed to force the release of those hidden documents and finally bring the remaining network to light. But inside a recent congressional committee hearing, the Department of Justice faced intense pushback for operating with severe, ongoing secrecy. Representative Madeleine Dean led an aggressive line of questioning, challenging the DOJ directly on how they're handling the evidence. She detailed her own recent ordeal, spending 10 hours in a secure DOJ reading room, forced to manually transcribe heavily redacted documents by hand just to review the evidence. The situation forces a hard look at the department's motives. The question is whether this extreme physical and legal bottleneck is standard procedure to protect victims or the mechanics of a high-level cover-up. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is the central figure defending the DOJ's current process and their decision to withhold information. Dean's first major strike targeted the sheer volume of withheld evidence. We are looking at a tiny fraction of released evidence, sitting next to millions of documents that remain completely hidden from Congress and the public. Blanche's official public defense is that these unreleased files are merely duplicative or entirely unrelated to the core investigation. But Dean quickly fired back. She asserted that Blanche's public dismissal of these files contradicts what he told her directly during a private conversation. A direct contradiction between public testimony and private admission damages the DOJ's credibility. It validates the growing suspicion that crucial evidence is being actively buried rather than processed. Blanche maintains a strict legal shield. He argues the DOJ is bound by law to protect victim anonymity, and that investigators simply lack the evidence to pursue additional prosecutions. Dean countered that these sweeping redactions are actually functioning as a legal shield for powerful co-conspirators, keeping them safely out of the public eye. The dynamic shifts when looking at Blanche's own background. He previously served as Donald Trump's personal defense attorney, establishing a clear professional and stated personal loyalty to the former president. During the climax of her interrogation, Dean bypassed the redactions entirely. She formally entered a suppressed 2009 email into the congressional record. The email contained the subject line Trump and detailed a private conversation regarding Epstein's aircraft and properties. This specific email adds weight to Dean's argument that the DOJ's files contain substantive evidence that has yet to be acted upon. It highlights why many critics view the current redaction policy as a barrier to accountability rather than a true safeguard for victims. This hearing exposed a broader structural flaw. Right now, the DOJ is acting as both the vault holding the secrets and the sole gatekeeper deciding what the public picks to see. When law enforcement officials harbor personal or political loyalties, the mandate to protect victims can be easily hijacked. It becomes a convenient legal loophole to protect elite associates. Representative Dean's conclusion is clear. The DOJ's conflicted handling of these files makes impartial justice impossible under its current leadership. With the DOJ facing such deep-seated allegations of conflict, the push for an independent prosecutor has become a central focus. It is seen as a way to bypass the internal gatekeeping and finally provide the transparency the public has been demanding for years.